The officer towered over the counter and stared down at me. Do you know that it is an offense to lie to a federal marshal of the United States government? He barked. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and if I don't like your answers, I'm going to ban you from the US for 5 years. And your dad? I'm going to charge your dad with alien smuggling. I froze. All of the blood drained out of my body. All I had wanted to do was start a new life in New York City. And now my dreams were becoming a nightmare. But let me take you back to when it all began. When I set foot in New York City in 2003, something inside me clicked. You see, New York and I, we were quite alike. We're both vibrant, bold, and never slept. I knew within the depths of my soul, I had to make New York my new home. Fast forward, 2007, freshly minted with a master's degree in HR. I had a month to spare before graduation. Perfect. I'm gonna look for a job in New York City. I packed up my bags, and I bought a one-way ticket to Manhattan, crashed on my best friend's couch, and was ready to start my dreams. At that time, the book The Secret was all the rage. It professed the power of manifestation. Every morning I got up and I said to myself, I will get an interview today. In 3 weeks, I had 15 interviews and 2 job offers. I know, I did it! Now, the job offers, they weren't just from anywhere. They were from the creme de la creme of the streets of Manhattan, Merrill Lynch and Goldman Sachs. I chose Goldman Sachs. I then returned home, graduated, said goodbye to my family and friends, and prepared to cross the border. A few days later, my dad and I arrive at the Canadian-US border. I'm excited and so nervous. I tell the officer I'm there for a work visa. Here's the thing. I didn't have a visa before I came to the border. Now I know what you all are thinking. I can see actually the look of panic on your faces. But it's okay. I'm Canadian and I can apply for a TN visa. It's for those who have specialized degrees, like me. I graduated in HR, remember? My dad and I go into the building. He is asked to go to a waiting area and I'm told to go to officer number 1. Now, officer number 1, oh, he was a kind, elderly-looking gentleman that looked like Geppetto from Pinocchio. Amazing, I thought. I handed in my paperwork and I waited. He looked at my paperwork, looked up at me and said, I'm sorry, but you don't qualify for the TN visa. What? Was Geppetto crushing my dreams? I don't think so. So I pushed back. Well, I know other people who've had similar job descriptions and they got a visa, I said. Oh, really? By the way, why do you have a US address on your resume? He asked. Oh, it's just my best friend's. I just used it for correspondence with the agency, I said. Sorry, you're denied. You're gonna have to go to officer number 2 over there for processing. My heart sunk. I dragged my feet in silence over to the next officer. Now this guy, oh, he wasn't Geppetto. He was massive. He looked like a WWE wrestler. He towered over the counter and said, if I don't like your answers to the questions I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna ban you for 5 years from the US. And your dad, I'm gonna charge him with alien smuggling. Panic rose through my body. In that moment, I wasn't just thinking about myself. I was thinking about my dad. You see, my dad just retired that same year and brought me to the border to help me fulfill my dreams. Please, please, I thought, don't let anything happen to my dad. The officer then barked a series of questions at me, and I tried my best to answer them as truthfully as I could with my heart in my throat, but I felt like every single word I said was futile. He then took a pause, a long pause, and said, "You know what? I'm in a great mood today. You're lucky I'm not going to charge you with anything. But next time you come to the US, you better show financial ties to Canada." I was fingerprinted, photographed, and escorted back to my dad. When my dad saw the look on my face, he knew. He just knew. He got up silently, and we both were escorted back to the car. Once in the car, we drove in silence back to the Canadian border, while the US border agent held our passports hostage as if we were criminals and walked alongside the car. When I got back to the Canadian side of the border, I broke down and sobbed. For weeks afterwards, I wondered why. How could the universe let me get so close, only to take it all away? Goldman Sachs and I, we tried to make it work, but by the fall of 2007, they knew I wasn't coming. They gave the job to someone else. Then my health collapsed. At first, I thought it was the stress I was under, but no, it was worse. I started to use the restroom 15 times a day and passing blood every time I went. I was extremely exhausted and I was losing weight rapidly. By 2008, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, an autoimmune condition that has no cause and no cure, and it causes an inflammation of the gut. It's also accompanied by frequent hospital visits, a plethora of medication, and also a lot of pain. It didn't take me long to realize that the universe knew something before I did. Had I went to New York, I would have been faced with astronomical medical bills. I also wouldn't have been close to my family and friends. And I would have been discriminated against for having a pre-existing medical condition, which means they would have taken me off of my employer health insurance. I thought that that border experience had ruined my life. But you know what? It saved me. By the end of 2008, I cleared my name, and this entire incident was a distant memory. That is, until last year, November 2024, before the US election, and I was flying through Pearson Airport. The border agent scanned my passport, looked up and asked, "Have you been denied a US visa before?" Apparently, there's a new system in town that will flag me every time I go into the US, and also requires me to do a second screening. It's also at that point in time that I realized that the universe was giving me a little bit of a gentle reminder that every detour and every delay is its way of protecting me. And every redirection is not a rejection. It's the universe's way of leading me to where I am meant to be. Thank you.